Mac OS X allows you as an administrator a variety of different ways to remotely manage and interact with machines. So we're going to go over a couple of these here. The first one that we want to start with is right out of the Finder. And here in your sidebar, you're going to see all of the other systems that are on your local network. Sydney Bailey has a computer out there. We want to share the screen. Click the Share Screen button. Apple has a much more robust environment for doing this if you find yourself doing this a large number of times, called Apple Remote Desktop. But if you're doing just a one-to-one, this is a very easy and effective way of controlling a remote system. We'll just type in our password. And now I have a window into Sydney Bailey's Mac. This is just as if I was on that system. I'm able to open up System Preferences, go into Sharing, for example, enable remote login, enable file sharing if I wanted to. All of that can be done from here. Now, if Sydney was sitting in front of her machine, she would see this happening as well. You're both sharing the same system. For a remote machine, this is very easy. Otherwise, this can be also a very good learning and training tool so that you can interact, especially if you're from the help desk, and help a user out with problems that they might be having. Another method of connecting remotely to a machine is through SSH from the command line. If we go back down here to the terminal, and in the terminal has a very great option of doing a new remote connection. If you open this up, you now have a little bit of a browser that shows all the other machines that can be found out there and allows you to make a remote connection very easily. We'll go back to Sydney Bailey's Mac, hit connect. It's going to first ask me to verify the authenticity. So this allows me to have a hash of a certificate from both sides that I can then determine is correct. If I say yes to this, then type in my password, I'm now on this remote system, and I would be able to navigate through the file system, view files that might be in the user folder here, see what applications might be running, using a command called top, for example, that's going to show me a live update of all the processes, the amount of memory, and everything else that's being taken up on this remote system. So as an administrator, I could easily see what applications are running, manage the machine a little bit, and do a lot of remote work over SSH from the command line. Another method of remote access, if I go into System Preferences, into Sharing, I can go into File Sharing. It's here that I can allow either AFP or SMB connections to my environment here. So by clicking on this plus button, I can set up a local folder. Go back to the root of the drive here perhaps, and share out my applications folder. Just hit add. This now is listed here on the shared folder side, and on the user side is who can actually get to it and administer it. Once you've done this, if we go back to the Finder, back to Sydney Bailey's Mac, which this has been set up on, we can now connect as a user and see all the folders that might be available to us. Right now we're connected as guest, so these are just the publicly available ones. If we hit connect as, we can type in a username and password, and now we're connected as Apple, and we see a different variety of folders out there. So, 3 great ways that you can remotely manage a machine as an administrator, all from OS X, without anything else required.